Can I grab your information? Are you willing to give me that?
No, I don't wish to waive my Fourth Amendment right.
I figured as much.
Who is your supervisor?
I think I'm gonna have to call security.
I'm gonna ask to see your supervisor.
Okay, I'm in charge of this office, so
Right.
I'm the supervisor.
Yeah, if you can email me a request, because if you denied it, this way I can get the lawsuit going quicker.
I'll send it out in the,
My name's Samantha. I'm a process server. I'm just here to serve you with a lawsuit.
Welcome back to the LackLuster channel. If you don't know Dan from Erie County,
Your name is not Dan Erie County.
Sure it is. I'm here as Dan Erie County.
you'll need a brief introduction for this story. Dan runs the channel Auditing Erie County and has been featured here previously. Dan was at the Capitol on January 6th and eventually pled guilty to the charge of parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building for spending approximately 10 minutes inside, looking at the public displays. He was sentenced to 45 days behind bars and 2 years of federal probation. Dan served his time and was released in January of 2023 and paid a visit to the Erie County Wrath office a few days later. His goal was to file a records request to find out who pays for the security at the stadium where the Buffalo Bills play, because since 2016, the events have been protected by at least 16 bomb-sniffing dogs, 24 SWAT members, and multiple Erie County Sheriff's Office deputies on foot and in the sky. But after asking the Sheriff's Office for the information, he was directed to the Erie County Attorney's Office.
I was going to say good morning. Good afternoon.
How you doing? I'm looking to do a FOIL request at the county attorney's office.
You can submit those in writing online.
Yeah, I'd like to do one right here in person.
No, it's got to be written. FOIA request has to be written.
Like typed out, written?
I mean, if you want to write it down.
Yeah, I'd like to handwrite one down here and submit it right now.
Okay.
Can I get a form?
We don't. I mean, we all of our forms are online, so we don't have a form.
Can you print me one up?
I mean, we can give you a blank sheet of paper if you want.
I guess that'll work.
Dan takes a seat and writes out his request and returns it to the clerk.
Alright, so this is the request. I just get a copy of that, maybe it's time-stamped and...
I mean, we can't give you a copy. You can timestamp it if you want.
Well, you timestamp it and you don't got a copy machine you can run it through to give me a copy once it's timestamped?
No, can't give you a copy.
Why not?
Because it's our copy machine, and that's...
Your copy machine or our copy machine?
Yeah, we don't make copies here for members of the public, but I'm happy to stamp a receipt, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to refuse to make a copy?
Correct.
What's your name?
My name's Jeremy Toth.
Jeremy Toth. What do you do here?
Yeah, I'm done having this conversation. This is where we reach you?
There's an email address there and a mailing address there.
Okay, great.
So you're refusing to make a copy of that for me, Jeremy?
Yes. Correct.
And what is your position here?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
Are you
matter?
done here?
No, I'm not.
Do we need to call security?
Security for what? Asking for
I'm
a
asking
copy?
you to leave.
Well, is this not publicly accessible, this office?
This is not a publicly accessible office.
How did the public allowed to come up here?
Well, you took your... Is there going to be a problem?
Not if you would just give me a copy of that.
We don't make copies for people walking off the street asking for a copy. That's not what we do here.
Why not?
Kinkos.
I'm not asking you to make copies of my personal stuff. I'm asking for a copy of that paper. It's not going to look good for you guys.
We don't make copies for
a FOIL request that I'm inserting?
Right, because you're supposed to put it online.
Who is your supervisor?
I think I'm going to have to call security.
I'm going to ask to see your supervisor.
Okay, I'm in charge of this office, so
right.
I'm the supervisor.
So you don't have a supervisor that works
County
above you?
executive. You can go across to all the county executive's office, but I am going to call security.
You have a business card?
Nope.
You don't have nothing, huh?
No.
Dan posted this video to YouTube, and the county attorney's weird ego flex over a single sheet of paper infuriated the public, which prompted emails and phone calls to complain about Mr. Toth's behavior. Toth then dug into Dan's past and found out that he was on probation, and that part of his terms prevented Dan from entering property managed by law enforcement agencies. Unhappy with the public's backlash, Toth petitioned the federal probation department to add a stipulation to Dan's terms that would prevent him from recording public servants, recording in public buildings, and from posting anything to YouTube. Dan refused to sign the agreement, and a judge inevitably denied the stipulations because they were overly broad and would obviously violate Dan's First Amendment rights. However, Dan's lawyer warned him that they would reword the request and try again, and they did, and when that time comes, we're going to address it. However, meanwhile, about a month after the meeting with the friendly county attorney, Dan made his way to the Lockport Labor Department.
How you doing? No, I don't need any help. I'm just here to take some photographs of the lobby.
For?
Oh, I'm Story. I'm working on the labor department.
Okay, I don't know about pictures in here. Can you mind if I get approval real quick? I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to double check, you're more than welcome to, but I'm telling you, it's all right.
This is our supervisor.
This is no, I was just wondering who she checked with to make sure it was all right that I was filming here, that's all.
Oh, we'd actually, it's not allowed.
What's not allowed?
That you can't film within the office. I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. If you want.
This office open. This office is open to the public.
It is.
Well, then there shouldn't be a problem.
What's your business?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm just working on a story on the labor department here, getting a view of what's available to the public.
Okay. Well, we have people that are responsible for media, so if you're interested, we can put you in touch with them.
Oh no, I don't need to talk to anybody.
Within the office.
I don't need to talk to anybody.
Okay. Well, I can't have you recording in the office.
Can I get your name?
Yep. My name's Jessica.
Jessica, and where were you informed that it's not allowed to be filmed in here?
The public are not allowed to film inside of our office.
Well, I'm not going in your office. I'm just in the publicly accessible area.
I am going to have to ask you to leave.
Well, thanks for asking, but as soon as I'm done taking the photos of the publicly accessible areas, I'll probably be on my way.
Okay. Well, you can leave, or we can call the police.
I mean, if you need to call the police, you're more than welcome to, but the public's allowed to video record in publicly accessible areas because of the First Amendment of the Constitution.
The police were called, and Dan stayed put as to not appear as though he were fleeing.
Are the police on the way here?
They've been called. That's all I know.
I'll be able to do that.
That they've been called.
Because I pretty much finished my business here. Maybe I don't know if I got this billboard here, but I don't want to run and leave if the police are coming, you know what I mean?
About 10 minutes after Dan's arrival, the Lockport Police Department arrived on scene.
If they don't want you here,
so it's not really how
kind of trespass.
That's not how trespass law works in public.
Well, if they want you removed from the property, they can have. It's just like say you were in 7-Eleven or whatever.
No. 7-Eleven is not public. 7-Eleven is a private business.
Correct.
How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Good.
So, if they don't want you here, what is the reason that you want to stay?
Well, what is the reason they want me to leave is the real question, because this is publicly accessible. It's open to the public, and I'm just here in public.
I understand that.
But we're not going to drag you out of here in cuffs or anything.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
of course not, because I'd have to break a law to be put in the handcuffs. So,
who called this in? You?
Supervisor Jessica.
Can I talk to you privately just to see what's going on here? Okay. I'll be right with you, okay?
The officers were cordial, that is, until after Officer Streckwald spoke with the management in the back rooms of the Labor Department, who, after about 10 minutes, returns from his side chat with the staff.
So, I think the main concern was just people's privacy.
Yeah, I'm not
and I understand you
personal
seem like you have a
information.
little bit of respect for people's privacy.
Yeah.
It is a public place. Back here is not public.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
of
by
course.
appointment only. So if you have an appointment, that's one thing. If you don't, that's something different. Are you almost finished?
Yeah, I'll probably leave right after you guys.
Okay, all right. Can I grab your information? Are you willing to give me that?
No, I don't wish to waive my
I
Fourth
figured
Amendment
as
right.
much. I figured as much.
But if I could get a CAT number or a call number for this?
Well, as soon as we get the report done, you're more than welcome to come down and get it, sir.
All right.
Okay?
But you have no call numbers that you guys were
Well, I don't
dispatched?
have it on me. It's in my computer.
When you guys go out, I'll follow you out. If you guys are ready to leave, I'm pretty good too.
Yeah,
I got all the
if you can
information.
stop
I need.
down in a little
As long as they understand that it's a constitutional right and they can't remove somebody from
Yeah,
filming
you
it here.
can. I'm not forcibly removing you from anywhere.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's go out there and
you
get
can
that
stop-
number.
You
and
can stop down at the station.
I got all the information I need here.
Okay, that's fine. We still have to talk to a couple people here, and then if you want to wait, hold on one second. 10-4. You can stop down. And we can give you any report you need. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thanks for your time.
For some reason, the officer suddenly became reluctant to give Dan the call number, which appears as though he was trying to inconvenience Dan in any way he could by telling him that he would have to go to the department to get the number. This call number would make obtaining the body cam easier to request, so that the conversation the officer had with the staff could be heard. A report doesn't have to be finished to get the number. The number shows up on the officer's computer screen, so Dan follows the officers out to obtain it.
Now, I know you guys don't have a report number, but you guys definitely have a call number on the computer. I can get that call number now so I can reference this easier?
You can go down to the station. You can go down.
You're not going to give that call number out?
No, I'll give you down to the station when we complete the report, sir. I have no problem doing that.
How about you, sir? Can I get that call number from you?
It's the same sort of thing.
Well, I know,
Like,
but you
could
guys
reach
got a
down
call
to the
here on your
station as well.
computer.
Yes, you can foil the report, but I'm more than happy to give you the report. Okay?
See if I can get that call number myself.
Don't open that door, okay?
See if I can't get that call number myself.
The call number is here, so let me know why you think the officer refused to give it to Dan. I'll go over 2 possible theories in a moment.
Since you guys want to not be even,
Thank you.
that was a simple request to give that call number.
It was, but the report's not complete. You want sufficient evidence or whatever you're doing? We'd be more than happy to provide that.
Well, all I'm asking for is the call number. It's nice and easy to reference a call number versus that.
You want the report, though?
Well, yeah, but I can't get that right now, and you agree I can't get that right now.
Sir, I was more than happy to help you, okay? But I think you're being difficult for a purpose.
This is a prime example of what we call gaslighting, a form of psychological manipulation an abuser would use to gain control of their victim. Dan can get the full report and body cam with this call number. It's clear that the unprofessional officer is only feigning cordiality for other sinister means.
Asking for a call number is not difficult.
Sir, but
That's something to reference this by.
I don't even know if that's the right call.
I don't. That's why you should just give it to me now.
I don't know what it is.
You don't have a call number to come here. Now you get dispatched down here.
Not until I get the report done. Okay, I have no problem giving you that report as soon as you come down and get it.
Did you mute your body camera while you're in there talking?
Everything is on here, sir.
All right, thank you.
Okay? Is there anything else I can help you with today?
No, that's it.
Okay. You have yourself a good day.
Thank you.
Immediately after the officer left, Dan called and verified that he had the call number, which took less than a 20-second phone call. The next day, Dan went to the municipal building to file a records request for the body cams and report.
How you doing? I got a FOIL request to turn in here.
Pardon?
A FOIL request?
There you go, you're all set.
Thank you very
Have
much.
a good day.
His request was denied, with the city claiming that the records are only compiled for law enforcement, even though the officer originally stated,
You can foil the report, but I'm more than happy to give you the report.
As all of this was going down, the county attorney from earlier, Jeremy Toth, was working in the background to have the terms of Dan's probation amended again. Originally, Dan would have had to commit a felony or misdemeanor to violate his probation, but Toth was successful this time in adding harassment and disorderly conduct to the terms to make it easier to hem him up. It's also possible that the law enforcement officers were aware that Dan wasn't allowed on the grounds of a law enforcement agency, and that evidence of collusion would be documented on the body cam footage that Dan was asking for. Other than being a flat-out jerk, it's one of the only other theories that makes sense. Dan eventually makes his way back to the municipal building to appeal the denial.
Sarah, yeah, I'm here to appeal the denied FOIL request.
Are you familiar with the appeal process?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you have the written document?
Yeah, I wrote an appeal up here. I got the original one here. If I could, what I did here is I got the appeal written here.
Okay.
I have the original acknowledgement letter, a copy of that attached to it, and I have the denial there. If you could just timestamp the appeal and give me a copy of the appeal. I don't need a copy of all the other the other 2 pages.
Yep.
Sarah returns a moment later.
It said on that denial that the public records I requested were compiled for law enforcement. Don't you think that's a little irrelevant who they were compiled for? They're public records, right?
I can't speak any further. That's gone through legal at this point. I'll send it back and we'll get more information. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
The very pleasant public employees were allotted 20 days to decide on the appeal, so after more than 20 days had passed, Dan called the department to inquire about its status.
We filed a full request with you guys back on the 13th of February.
Okay.
You guys denied my full request, and I appealed it on the 23rd of March. It's been 20 business days. I haven't heard back. I'm trying to figure out what's
I know a reply went out to you on Friday, Dan.
last Friday a reply went out?
Yep.
I haven't received it yet.
Okay. Well, if you need me to send it out again, I can send out another copy if I know I sent it out.
Can you email it?
I would set it by postmark so we can verify.
I mean, email is very, very reliable.
If that's your preference, I can send it.
Yeah, if you can email me a request, because if you denied it, this way I can get the lawsuit going quicker.
I'll send it out as I'll send out the,
Are you denying it again?
it has gone through legal and it's being denied.
Alright, well, can you email that to me so I can get the lawsuit going today?
Our standard process and protocol in this is actually to send it back in the mail, and I can send it with a reply sticker on it if you would prefer.
I would prefer that you emailed it so I can get it today. Because obviously if you mailed it last Friday and it hasn't gotten here before, clearly your mailing process isn't that reliable, or you're lying to me, one of the two. Could you please email that to me? My email address is on that paperwork.
Don't appreciate the way that you're speaking to me?
I don't appreciate the way you're speaking to me right now. You're the public servant. You work for us.
And there's no need for you to talk to me in that tone?
I don't care what tone you want. You're making this difficult. You can easily email that to me so I can file the lawsuit.
Sarah claimed that she sent the denial on April 14th, 3 days prior to this phone call. A few days later, Dan received 2 copies of the same letter, postmarked to the 17th, the day of the phone call. Based on these dates, it appears that Sarah possibly lied about sending out the denial and sent 2 copies late, but on the same day to make it appear as if one was just stuck in the mail. As funny as Sarah thought Dan's mention of a lawsuit was,
yeah, if you can email me a request, because if you denied it, this way I can get the lawsuit going quicker.
I'll send it out as
Dan stuck to his word and filed the lawsuit to obtain the body cam footage of a 10-minute conversation that the city is so desperately trying to hide from the public. The day the lawsuit was served, August 18th of 2023, Dan went to the municipal building to film the service.
Hello. Can I help you?
How you doing? No, I'm not. I don't need any help at this time.
You don't need anything?
No.
Okay. Did you need something?
You guys go ahead.
Well, I don't want to be recorded.
No.
Can I help you? Sir, can you just go down the house so I can help them?
I'm just here to. I'm here to observe the city being sued. That's all.
I know, but the customers don't want to come to the counter because you're here.
I don't want to be recorded, mister.
Can I help you?
I'm looking for Sarah Alonzo.
What's in regards to?
Lawsuit.
Eventually, Sarah comes to the counter.
Don't look so nervous.
Hi, Sarah Alonzo.
I am.
My name's Samantha. I'm a process server. I'm just here to serve you with a lawsuit.
Okay.
I think that's it. It's Elliot Enzo.
Yep.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you.
After the service was complete, Dan asked to file a records request for a copy of the video taken by Emily Stoddard.
Can I help you?
Yeah, there's a lady here who took a video with her phone.
Okay.
I'd like to full request that video.
I can give you.
Yeah, if you want to grab my full request, and I just need her name. Hopefully we won't have to sue you guys for that too.
Dan posted his video of the service a few days later, and after viewing the video and feeling disgusted with the abhorrent behavior of the civil servants portrayed in the publication, members of the public wrote emails and made phone calls to the Lockport office to voice their concerns with the unprofessional and rude employees. That same day, 4 of the women working in the office filed written statements claiming that Dan had committed the offense of second-degree harassment, one of the non-criminal offenses that the Erie County Attorney, Jeremy Toth, had pushed to have added to the list of conditions that could violate Dan's probation. The offense requires the requisite intent to alarm, harass, or annoy a person by engaging in a course of conduct or repeatedly committing acts which cause alarm or seriously annoy such other person, and which serves no legitimate purpose. But watching the video, Dan obviously has a legitimate purpose both times that he appeared at the municipal building. One of the visits was to request body cam footage, and the second was to film the service of the lawsuit he filed when the city refused to release that body cam footage, and then to file a secondary records request. Nevertheless, Dan was charged with 4 counts of harassment, and a warrant was requested to force entry into his home and arrest him there. The judge was also asked to issue a protection order, but fortunately both requests were denied, and instead a notice to appear was sent in the mail. In their written reports, Carol falsely alleged that Dan didn't respond to her asking if he needed help.
Hello. Can I help you?
How you doing? No, I'm not. I don't need any help at this time.
You don't need anything?
No.
Okay.
Sarah, Jennifer, and Emily all echoed the same lie, and all 4 further embellished the untruths in their depositions, claiming that Dan was preventing multiple people from being served by the clerks, while also writing that patrons were being served by the clerks. Their statements also include complaints that the clerks received calls and emails from the public, which only seems to be an attempt to muddy the waters, as Dan never asked, told, or otherwise instructed anyone to make contact, and the public's use of their own First Amendment rights can't be used to penalize Dan. In Jennifer's deposition, she included that Emily's brother-in-law works at the police department, which raises questions of who may have allegedly coached the woman in what to write, as each of their written statements includes the phrase, "It caused me such alarm," and 2 others claim no legitimate purpose.
Captain America? No, Captain Obvious. Who? My power lets me say anything, and it becomes reality.
Though none of the women appeared alarmed or even made reports until after receiving the public's grievances 3 days later. So Dan is now preparing for trial to fight the 4 counts of harassment, and is still pursuing the lawsuit to obtain the body cam footage that the city is withholding. And it only appears that this will end in another civil lawsuit for malicious prosecution. So we're left with these final questions. Who did Officer Streckwald speak to? And about what in the video that they're so vehemently defending? Is it a mere coincidence that Jeremy Toth had harassment and disorderly conduct added to Dan's conditions, and that a couple months later, 4 statements and depositions appear to be coached to obtain harassment charges against him? We really have no idea, but if this was all connected, it wouldn't be the first time the government worked diligently behind the scenes to violate a citizen's civil rights. Let me know what you think down below, because I'd love to hear your theory. This production made use of 4 separate videos on Dan's YouTube channel, and I removed large portions of the interactions. So if you want to see the full and unedited versions of these incidents, links to those videos and the channel Auditing Erie County can be found linked in the description and pinned comment. The story certainly isn't over, so stay tuned because there will be updates.
Okay, you have no problem giving me that report as soon as you come down and get it.
Thanks for watching. If you have a video, use the submit link in the description or pinned comment. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe and hit the bell for future content, and check out our other channels, Lady Lackluster and The Odd Side. Remember to like, share, and leave a comment about what you think of this interaction. It's the easiest way for you to help expose corruption and misconduct. Merchandise is available using the links below. Join the LackLuster family for just $1 if you'd like to further support the channel. Get a Lack logo next to your name, custom emotes, and early access to videos. I look forward to seeing you in the next one. All links are down below.